Oh, hey, good day, YouTube. So today I'd like to reach out to our transitioning military members. Well, you've done your 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, or you're retired. Thank you for your service yet again. But now it's time to figure out what you're going to do with yourself. You don't know. You really don't know until you actually get out there and do it. That's the real thing about getting out, is you got to figure it out on yourself. You don't get anybody to tell you what to do no more. So you've got to have a plan. And most of your chain of command is going to ask you if you've got a plan. So it's time to sit down and actually think about what you've done while you were in the military. What skills have you acquired? Not just from basic, but from your units. A lot of the time, you've gone outside of your specific job. You've become a mail handler, ammo handler, fuel handler, armorer. God, there's so many different things you've done. But what are you going to do with yourself with those skills? So the first thing you ought to be checking out is military.com. They've got a military jobs translator. It asks you your branch of service and what your job was while you were in the military. Then it will tell you what skills that you've got. You could also add all the different jobs that you've done. Maybe you were a supply clerk while you were a scout, maybe for just a few months or a year. That's still skills you've acquired. So building a resume is going to be key to that. We all have to go through the transition services. One of the things that we have to deal with is death by PowerPoint and building a resume. They're going to tell you about military.com, and that's very helpful, just as I have told you. But when it comes down to building a resume, I've learned that they really don't care. It's a day of, and they don't really help you transition and figure out what skills you've got. That's all on you. So going to resumebuilder.com, that's another good key place to find how to build a resume. It'll give you a template. It will walk you step by step on what skills you've got. Also, Microsoft Word does that too. So that's another good resource. And if you can find somebody out in the local economy that you're near that actually has that and does give a damn about you, it might require you to pay. They'll help you build a resume and a mission statement. So don't worry about that. So after you've got that done, how about rehearsing for an interview? I know what you're thinking. You don't have to rehearse for an interview. Just be your professional best, right? You see, a lot of us get out, especially amongst the males, we tend to grow our beard out. And if you want a job that pays anything for you, that you don't have a connection to, you're not going to want to grow that beard out. Not right away. So hold off on that. So once you've rehearsed for that interview, you've got that job, but you're still in the military. Maybe that job is in another state from where you're stationed. Or maybe it's in the same area that you're stationed at. Outstanding, right? Well, you got to figure out a place to live because you don't get to live in military housing no more. So the next thing you got to do is figure out where to live. Going to your realtor, that helps out a lot because they can tell you about the crime rate around the area, schools that are near you, hospitals if you need those services. Also, if the VA is nearby. So then after you've gotten that all down, it's time to think about school. And I'm going to overemphasize that a lot on this channel. Going to school, figuring yourself out, because while you were in the military, you were told what you were going to be, what you were going to do. But now it's time to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life, because you got to live with yourself, and your family has to live with you. If you have a family, they definitely need your support financially, mentally, and physically. If you're a disabled veteran, outstanding, because a lot of schools, a lot of places offer a lot of disability services. I'm sorry that you lost limbs while you were in country. You paid a sacrifice that was expected upon you while being in the military. Thank you for your service. You have done good. But now it's time for you to lay back and do something you want to do. Kind of sucks you're missing a limb. Kind of sucks you're having to deal with disability, and you have to deal with the VA on a constant basis. But we'll get into that here in a little bit. The next thing you got to do is what you want to do. I'll tell you this, while you're in school, you're going to change majors a couple of times. I've already done it myself. I've been out for 2 years. Maybe the thing that you wanted to do is a little bit more difficult than you expected. The class didn't agree with you. You have to retake the class. But here's the cool thing about retaking classes. The VA will pay for them as many times as you take them. And it will replace your grade. Most universities have grade replacement. Now, if you don't end up in a university at first, don't worry about it. You're good. Go to a community college. Get your core classes out of the way. Your math, your English, some of your electives. Maybe those electives will really help you out on deciding what you want to do. Some people want to be a social worker, psychologist, psychiatrist, want to deal with mental health. Maybe you want to go into the justice field, engineering field, the sciences. Do something productive. That's why I emphasize school, because it's going to help you out. It's going to help you transition. So the next thing you got to think about is why you want to do it. After you figured that out, you have to deal with the VA. Not just for school, but also for medical benefits, disability. Now, if you're combative or have been in a combative MOS job in general, MS, whatever the other branches call it, hey, I'm Army, forgive me, it's what I know it by, whatever, right? You need to figure out that when you're going for disability, you already get a percentage for PTSD, maybe even hearing loss. So what's next? Applying for medical services while you're using the VA. You've got 5 years of free medical services, and that is likely to change. Maybe it's already changed. I don't know. But you have to figure that out. So the next part, the last thing, and I'm done, is networking. Using school networks, especially if you've already gotten into school. Yeah, I know. There's fraternities and sororities that are out there, and you don't want that life. I get it. But here's some of the pros about having that life in your life. You get to network. A lot of Fortune 500 companies look for people who are involved in the Greek community. So network as much as you can. There's a lot of veterans that are still going to school. Even if you're just getting out, you're going to find other veterans in there. And you'll probably see them over the fact that they're huge and they have beards, or they're just, well, you know how it is. You've been there. We've all have. So after that, think about social networking. Some of your friends might be able to hook you up with a job or with resources to help you study. Keep that in mind. And as always, YouTube, stay cool. Thanks for watching. I hope to hear more about your successful transition. And for all of those who have already transitioned successfully, I'd like to hear your stories too. Yet again, stay cool, YouTube. Later.